Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Hey, all you slick puppies. I'm Dale Rodman Jr. III, and this is Slow to Pro, the video series where I go from slow to a brand new update with 3 brand new cars. Today we're driving the 2023 Lamborghini Huracan Evo 2. Only reason I chose the Lambo over the Ferrari was the overwhelming popularity of the Ferrari. So here we are at Kyalami. We qualified in P3, so in front of us there is P1. It's the brand new Ferrari 296, and over there in P2, what should be P2, is the brand new Porsche. It looks just like the old one, but they swear it isn't. It's time for the green flag. And right out of the gate, we're gonna get a good demonstration that this new Porsche looks like the old one, does not perform like the old one. It is much faster in a straight line. Everybody tucks over to the left, so I say, okay, I will occupy this right lane, no problem at all. We get by the Ferrari here, so that Ferrari went from P1 to P3 with a car alongside them very quickly, but they're able to shake them off, get the inside line, and that's gonna settle it. So we've got a Porsche in P1, a Porsche in P2, a Lambo in P3, and a Ferrari in P4. So now that the action is settled, this was my first race on the new 1.9 update that included all sorts of changes to the tires, suspension, and electronics. And so far, whew, what a great update, ain't that right, Chris? See, Chris knows what greatness is, and that's why Chris is already subscribed to the channel. And Chris already clicked the like button as well. But yeah, back to the update. Man, I think it's great. They say it's going to slow lap times down by about a second or so, but I don't see that happening. With the new suspension physics, you can be far more aggressive with curbs, which I think is going to open up some extra speed in a lot of circuits. I love the fact that we have an entire PSI of pressure to play with when it comes to the tires, because I'm very much a default aggressive setup type of guy, so not having to fuss around with the setup menu is great for me. If you want a full review of the 1.9 update, sorry, I'm not that guy. Back to the action, let's skip ahead. Have a bit of a moment on the exit coming off that curb here on lap 2. And it's going to give this knucklehead in the blue Ferrari a pretty good run on me. Now he's got the inside line, he's established his position, so I've got to give him the space. I don't want to, but I have to, so I do. He gets a much better run than I do, and then he outbrakes me, and then he just outruns me on the exit. So good for him. I don't like him, but good for him. And I got another chimpanzee in a Ferrari nipping at my heels, so it's just everybody and their sister is driving a Ferrari right now. The blue one in front of us has a moment there coming down through the S's. I've got to check up, which immediately opens a window for that red Ferrari driven by the chimpanzee to come in and steal another position from me. We're going to drop down to P5 here, and we've got, if you can believe it, another Ferrari right behind me. But I'm not willing to let go. We're going to go side by side until I decide, okay, I should let out a little bit here. This wide line doesn't have the most grip in the world. And then right as I think we've settled, the Ferrari just spins it all on its own accord, and we're right back up into P4, baby. Let's go ahead and skip way ahead all the way to the start of lap number 7 here. I've been following this red Ferrari around and around and around, and they're just slower than me, but not making any mistakes. And Kyalami is a little difficult to pass on, at least for me it is, until we finally come up to turn 1 and we both make the same mistake, but I give him a little blast. And the Ferrari that was following very closely behind is able to sneak right behind. So essentially I bumped the Ferrari out of the way and let another Ferrari through. We're no better or worse than we were. We're still P4. Let's go ahead and skip ahead to the next bit of action. Still on lap number 7, headed into Cheetah. I had a bit of a moment coming through the turn, and then the Ferrari's able to get a run, and they give me a little shunt, maybe a little payback there. But I saw it coming. I was able to keep the car under control. No harm, no foul. Let's go ahead and skip ahead now just a little bit, just a few turns. The blue Ferrari can't hold on to it, and off into the wall they go. There's P3. Skip ahead again. Coming through the Cheetah, we see the leader has been bit by the Cheetah, and that's going to give us P2. And now we're engaged in a battle with P1 and the brand new Porsche against the brand new Lambo. And in P3, we've got the brand new Ferrari. I mean, it's exactly what you could ask for when there's a new update. All 3 cars in the top 3. Well, let's go ahead and skip ahead to the next bit of action. I followed this Porsche around for a few laps until finally we got a moment here coming through the S's. Porsche gets a little squiggly, a little squirmy, and I gotta check up so I don't slam into them. And then they seem to just park it here in the middle of this turn. I give them the lightest bump ever. The lightest, I swear to God, it was the lightest bump ever. And whoop, around they go. But thankfully, they were able to get it right back on circuit, get their car back into P3. We got a nice 1, 2, 3 car battle going here. All of us within 1.5 seconds of one another. And right behind me is the red Ferrari that I bumped while we were off circuit earlier. So this guy has seen me bump him, gain a position, and bump the Porsche and gain a position. So in my head, I'm thinking like, if I was this guy, dude, I would not feel bad about bumping me to gain a position. So here we are, start of the final lap, and I got one eye in front of me and one eye on that TV screen showing me what's behind me, because I am certain that this Ferrari is going to try something on this lap. In the section that I cut out, that Ferrari had gone from a few seconds behind me in P3 to 1 second behind me when I was P2 and they were P3, and then boom, suddenly I'm passing that Porsche and this Ferrari's directly on my tail. So they had a better pace toward the end of the race. I'm sure they were well aware of that. What's that guy doing? Who knows? Anyway, don't look at him. Look at the turn, you idiot. Here we go through sunset. Got its name because the sun is in your eyes during the sunset. Fun fact. At this point, I'm hoping that the Porsche is going to get desperate, try to make a move on the Ferrari. Maybe it'll slow them both down, give me a bit of a gap. But as I look in my mirror, I see that is not shaking out. Coming through the S's for the final time. First race on 1.9. First race in the Lamborghini. We're in first place. I take a defensive line through the hairpin because I thought that Ferrari was much closer than they were. In fact, they were much further back than I thought they were. So all I've done essentially is sacrifice my own lap time and allowed them to catch up even further as we come down here through mineshaft again for the final time. You're going to see that Ferrari is now taking up a much larger portion of my rear view television there as we come up to Cheetah. Coming down to the final turn, you're going to see that Ferrari gets a hell of a run coming down to this final turn. I saw it happen and I knew they were going to take the dive, so I say, hey, suck off, seen that move before. What do I look like, a first timer? Let me get over in front of them, let them know this is my race, I win. P1, baby. So yeah, that's it for today's action. I will be back later this week or maybe early next week with the action from Talladega Super Speedway and NASCAR and iRacing. As always, thank you for watching Slow to Pro. I'm Dale Robbins Jr. III. You guys have the kind of day you want to have.